Rocky is a 1976 American sports drama film directed by John G. Avildsen and written by and starring Sylvester Stallone. 3. It is the first installment in the Rocky film series and also stars Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, and Burgess Meredith. In the film, Rocky Balboa, Stallone, a poor small-time club fighter and loan shark debt collector from Philadelphia, gets an unlikely once-in-a-lifetime shot at the World Heavyweight Championship held by Apollo Creed, Weathers. Rocky entered development in March 1975, after Stallone wrote the screenplay in 3 days. It entered a complicated production process after Stallone refused to allow the film to be made without him in the lead role. United Artists eventually agreed to cast Stallone after he rejected a six-figure deal for the film rights. Principal photography began in January 1976, with filming primarily held in Philadelphia. Several locations featured in the film, such as the Rocky Steps, are now considered cultural landmarks. 4. With an estimated production budget of about $1 million, Rocky popularized the rags to riches and American dream themes of sports dramas which preceded the film. Rocky had its premiere at the Paramount Theater in New York City on November 20, 1976, and was released in the United States on December 3. Rocky became the highest-grossing film of 1976, earning approximately $225 million worldwide. The film received critical acclaim for Stallone's writing, as well as the film's performances, direction, musical score, cinematography, and editing. Among other accolades, it received 10 Academy Award nominations and won 3, including Best Picture. It has been ranked by numerous publications as one of the greatest films of all time, as well as one of the most iconic sports films ever. Rocky and its theme song have become a pop cultural phenomenon and an important part of 1970s American popular culture. In 2006, the Library of Congress selected Rocky for preservation in the United States National Film Registry as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. 5. The first sequel in the series, Rocky II, was released in 1979. Plot: to mark the upcoming United States bicentennial, heavyweight boxing world champion Apollo Creed plans to hold a title bout in Philadelphia. However, he is informed 5 weeks from the fight date that his scheduled opponent, Mackley Green, is unable to compete due to an injured hand and that all other potential replacements are either booked or unable to get into shape in time. Having invested heavily into the fight, Apollo decides to give a local contender a chance to challenge him. He selects Rocky Balboa, an Italian-American journeyman southpaw boxer who primarily fights in small gyms and works as a collector for a mafia loan shark, on the basis of his nickname, the Italian Stallion. Rocky meets with promoter George Jurgens and agrees to the fight, which will pay him $150,000. Rocky undergoes several weeks of unorthodox training, such as using sides of beef as punching bags. He is later approached by Mickey Goldmill, a former bantamweight fighter turned trainer whose gym Rocky frequents, about further training. Rocky is not willing initially, as Mickey has not shown much interest in helping him before and saw him as a wasted talent, but eventually he accepts the offer. Rocky builds a romantic relationship with Adrian Penino, a shy woman who is working part-time at the J&M Tropical Fish Pet Store. Adrian's brother and Rocky's best friend, Paulie, helps Rocky get a date with his sister and offers to work as a cornerman with him for the fight, an offer Rocky turns down. Paulie becomes jealous of Rocky's success, but Rocky placates him by agreeing to advertise the meat-packing business where Paulie works as part of the fight. Rocky trains extensively for the match, while Apollo is unconcerned and puts more effort into promotion than training. The night before the match, Rocky visits the Spectrum and begins to lose confidence. He confesses to Adrian that he does not believe he can win but strives to go the distance against Apollo, which no other fighter has done, to prove himself. On New Year's Day, the fight is held with Apollo making a dramatic entrance dressed as George Washington and then Uncle Sam. Taking advantage of his overconfidence, Rocky knocks him down in the first round, the first time that Apollo has ever been knocked down. Humbled and worried, Apollo takes Rocky more seriously for the rest of the fight, which goes on for the full 15 rounds, with both combatants sustaining various injuries. Rocky, with hits to the head and swollen eyes, requires his right eyelid to be cut to restore his vision, while Apollo, with internal bleeding and a broken rib, struggles to breathe. As the fight concludes, Apollo's skill is countered by Rocky's stamina, toughness, and will. As the final bell sounds, Apollo tells Rocky there ain't gonna be no rematch. Rocky replies that he doesn't want one. As the ring is flooded with reporters and excited fans, Rocky calls out repeatedly for Adrian, who makes her way into the ring. As Jurgens declares Apollo the winner by virtue of a split decision, Rocky and Adrian embrace and profess their love for each other, unconcerned with the outcome of the fight. Cast: Sylvester Stallone in 1977. See also, List of Rocky characters. Sylvester Stallone as Robert Rocky Balboa. Talia Shire as Adrian Penino. Burt Young as Paulie Penino. Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. Burgess Meredith as Michael Mickey Goldmill. Thayer David as George Miles Jurgens. Joe Spinell as Tony Gazzo. Jimmy Gambin as Mike. Tony Burton as Tony Duke Evers. Pedro Laval as Spider Rico. Stan Shaw as Big Dipper Brown. Jodie Letizia as Marie. Frank Stallone as Street Corner Singer. Joe Frazier as himself. Production, development and writing. Sylvester Stallone wrote the screenplay for Rocky in 3.5 days, shortly after watching the championship match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wenner that took place at Richfield Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio, on March 24, 1975. Wenner was TKO'd in the 15th round of the match by Ali, with few expecting him to last as long as he did. Despite the match motivating Stallone to begin work on Rocky VII, he has denied Wenner provided any inspiration for the script. 8, 9, 10 Other inspiration for the film may have included characteristics of real-life boxers Rocky Marciano and Joe Frazier. 11, 12 as well as Rocky Graziano's autobiography Somebody Up There Likes Me and the movie of the same name. Wenner sued Stallone, and eventually settled for an undisclosed amount. 9. Henry Winkler, Stallone's co-star in The Lords of Flatbush, who then broke out as Arthur Fonzarelli on ABC's Happy Days, said he had taken the script to executives at the network. They expressed interest in turning it into a made-for-television movie and actually bought the script but insisted that someone else rewrite it. Upon hearing the news, Stallone begged Winkler not to let ABC change writers, so Winkler went back to the executives and offered to return the money in exchange for the rights. While ABC refused at first, Winkler said he was able to use his status as one of its biggest stars at the time to convince them to sell the rights back. 13. At the time, Film Artists Management Enterprises, FAME, a joint venture between Hollywood talent agents Craig T. Remar and Larry Kubik, represented Stallone. He submitted his script to Remar and Kubik, who immediately saw the potential for it to be made into a motion picture. They shopped the script to various producers and studios in Hollywood but were repeatedly rejected because Stallone insisted that he be cast in the lead role. Eventually, they secured a meeting with Winkler Chartoff Productions, no relation to Henry Winkler. After repeated negotiations with Remar and Kubik, Winkler Chartoff agreed to a contract for Stallone to be the writer and also star in the lead role for Rocky. 14. Stallone offered the script to Ralph Bakshi to direct, because he loved Bakshi's 1973 film Heavy Traffic, but Bakshi turned it down because he didn't want to leave animation, and John G. Avildsen signed on to direct instead. 15. United Artists liked Stallone's script and viewed it as a vehicle for a well-established star like Robert Redford, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds, or James Caan. 16. United Artists initially thought the project was going to be a disaster. 17. Stallone's agents insisted that Stallone portray the title character, to the point of issuing an ultimatum. Stallone later said that he would never have forgiven himself had the film become a success with somebody else in the lead. 18. 19. He also knew that producers Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff's contract with the studio enabled them to greenlight a project if the budget was kept low enough. The producers also collateralized any possible losses with their big-budget entry, New York City, whose eventual losses were covered by Rocky's success. 2021 The film's production budget ended up being $1,075,000, with a further $100,000 spent on producers' fees and $4.2 million on advertising costs. 22. Pre-production. Although Chartoff and Irwin Winkler were enthusiastic about the script and the idea of Stallone playing the lead character, they were hesitant about having an unknown headline the film. The producers also had trouble casting other major characters in the story, with Apollo Creed and Adrian cast unusually late by the production standards. Citation needed. Real-life boxer Ken Norton was initially sought for the role of Apollo Creed, but he pulled out and the role was ultimately given to Carl Weathers. 23. Norton, upon whom Creed was loosely based, fought Muhammad Ali 3 times. According to the Rocky scrapbook, Cary Snodgrass was originally chosen to play Adrian, but a money dispute forced the producers to look elsewhere. Susan Sarandon and Cher auditioned for the role, but Sarandon was deemed too pretty for the character and Cher too expensive. After Talia Shire's ensuing audition, Chartoff and Winkler, and director John Avildsen insisted that she play the part. Citation needed. Philadelphia-based boxer Joe Frazier has a cameo appearance in the film. Outspoken boxer Muhammad Ali, who fought Frazier 3 times, influenced the character of Apollo Creed. During the 49th Academy Awards ceremony in 1977, Ali and Stallone staged a brief comic confrontation to show the film did not offend Ali. Frazier has claimed that some of the plot's most memorable moments, Rocky's carcass punching scenes and Rocky running up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art as part of his training regimen, are taken without credit from his own real-life exploits. 24. Because of the film's comparatively low budget, members of Stallone's family played minor roles. His father rings the bell to signal the start and end of a round, his brother Frank plays a street corner singer, and his first wife, Sasha, was stills photographer. 25 other cameos include former Philadelphia and then Los Angeles television sportscaster Stu Nahan playing himself, alongside radio and TV broadcaster Bill Baldwin, and Lloyd Kaufman, founder of the independent film company Troma, appearing as a drunk. Diana Lewis, then a news anchor in Los Angeles and later in Detroit, has a minor scene as a TV news reporter. Tony Burton appears as Apollo Creed's trainer, Tony Duke Evers, a role he would reprise throughout the entire Rocky series, though the character is not named until Rocky II. Michael Dorn, who would later gain fame as the Klingon Worf in Star Trek, The Next Generation and Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, made his acting debut, albeit uncredited, as Creed's bodyguard. 26. Filming. Principal photography for Rocky began on January 9, 1976. 27 Filming took place primarily throughout Philadelphia, with a few scenes shot in Los Angeles. Rocky's house was located at 1818 East Tusculum Street in the Kensington neighborhood of North Philadelphia. 28 Inventor Garrett Brown's new Steadicam was used to accomplish smooth photography while running alongside Rocky during the film's Philadelphia street training sequences and the run up the Art Museum's flight of stairs, now colloquially known as the Rocky Steps. 29 It was also used for some shots in the fight scenes and can be seen at the ringside during some wide shots of the final fight. Rocky is often erroneously cited as the first film to use the Steadicam, although it was actually the third, after Bound for Glory and Marathon Man. 30. Certain elements of the story were altered during filming. The original script had a darker tone, Mickey was portrayed as racist, and the script ended with Rocky throwing the fight after realizing he did not want to be part of the professional boxing world after all. 20. Both Stallone and Weathers suffered injuries during the shooting of the final fight. Stallone suffered bruised ribs and Weathers suffered a damaged nose, the opposite injuries of what their characters had. 31. The first date between Rocky and Adrian, in which Rocky bribes a janitor to allow them to skate after closing hours on a deserted ice skating rink, was shot that way due to budgetary concerns. The scene was originally scheduled to be shot in a public skating rink during regular business hours, but the producers decided they could not afford the hundreds of extras that would have been required. 32. The poster seen above the ring before Rocky fights Apollo Creed shows Rocky wearing red shorts with a white stripe when he actually wears white shorts with a red stripe. When Rocky points this out, promoter George Jurgens tells him that it doesn't really matter, does it? 33. Avildsen said this was an actual mistake made by the props department that they could not afford to rectify, so the brief scene was written to ensure the audience did not see it as a goof. 34. Conversely, Stallone has said he was indeed supposed to wear red shorts with a white stripe as Rocky, but changed to the opposite colors at the last moment. 35. Similarly, when Rocky's robe arrived far too baggy on the day it was needed for filming, Stallone wrote in dialogue where Rocky points this out. 36. Music. Soundtrack. Main article, Rocky, soundtrack. Bill Conti composed the musical score for Rocky. He had composed a score for director John G. Avildsen's WW and the Dixie Dank Ekings, 1975, that the studio ultimately rejected. 37. David Shire, then husband of Talia Shire, was the first to be offered the chance to compose the music for Rocky but had to turn it down because of prior commitments. 38. Avildsen reached out to Conti without any studio help because of the film's relatively low budget. Avildsen said, "The budget for the music was 25 grand. And that was for everything, the composer's fee, that was to pay the musicians, that was to rent the studio, that was to buy the tape that it was going to be recorded on." 39. The main theme song, Gonna Fly Now, made it to number 1 on Billboard magazine's Hot 100 list for 1 week, from July 2 to July 8, 1977, and the American Film Institute placed it 58th on its AFI's 100 Years, 100 Songs. 40. 41. United Artists Records released the soundtrack album on November 12, 1976. 42. EMI re-released the album on CD and cassette. 43. Frank Stallone's song Take You Back is also on the soundtrack, and he also sings the song in the movie with other friends around a trash can fire. Release. Theatrical. The movie began with 2 premieres in New York, starting with the world premiere for Rocky, which would take place at Paramount Theater in New York City on Saturday, November 20, 1976, by United Artists, and the other on the day after, Sunday, November 21, 1976, by United Artists at Cinema 2 in New York City. The Los Angeles premiere took place at the Plaza in Westwood Village on December 1, 1976. This was then followed by a full official release on December 3, 1976, all throughout North America in the United States and Canada. 44. Home media. Icon. This section needs more citations. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. June 2021, learn how and when to remove this message. 1980 UK video release by Intervision Betamax, VHS, rental only. 1982, said video disc, Betamax, and VHS, VHS release is rental only. 20th Century Fox video release, Warner Home Video has rest of the world rights. October 27, 1990, VHS and Laserdisc. April 16, 1996, VHS and Laserdisc. March 24, 1997, DVD. April 24, 2001, DVD, also packed with the 5-disc box set. 2001, VHS, 25th Anniversary Edition. December 14, 2004, DVD, also packed with the Rocky Anthology box set. February 8, 2005, DVD, also packed with the Rocky Anthology box set. December 5, 2006, DVD and Blu-ray disc, 2-disc collector's edition, The DVD was the first version released by Fox and was also packed with the Rocky Anthology box set, and the Blu-ray was the first version released by 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. December 4, 2007, DVD box set, Rocky: The Complete Saga. This new set contains the new Rocky Balboa, but does not include the recent 2-disc Rocky. There are still no special features for Rocky 2 through Rocky V, although Rocky Balboa's DVD special features are all intact. November 3, 2009, Blu-ray box set, Rocky: The Undisputed Collection. This release included 6 films in a box set. Previously, only the first film and Rocky Balboa were available on the format. Those 2 discs are identical to their individual releases, and the set also contains a disc of bonus material, new and old alike. 45. May 6, 2014, Blu-ray re-release with an all-new 4K remaster and the previous special features of the old release. 46. October 13, 2015, Blu-ray box set, Rocky Heavyweight Collection 40th Anniversary Edition. All 6 films plus over 3 hours of bonus material, including the 4K remaster of the first film. 47. Reception. Box office. Rocky grossed $5,488 on its opening day at Cinema 2, a house record. 44. When it was released nationally, it grossed $5 million during its first wide weekend and consistently performed well for 8 months. 48. And eventually reached $117 million at the North American box office. 49. Adjusted for inflation in 2018, the film earned over $500 million in North America alone. 50. Overseas, Rocky grossed $107 million, for a worldwide box office total of $225 million. 51. With its production budget of about $1 million, Rocky is notable for its worldwide percentage return of over 11,000%. 52. It was the highest grossing film released in 1976 in the United States and Canada. 53. And the second highest grossing film of 1977, behind Star Wars. 54. Critical response. Rocky received positive reviews at the time of its release. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave it 4 out of 4 stars and said that Stallone reminded him of the young Marlon Brando. 55. Box Office Magazine claimed audiences would be touting Sylvester "Sly" Stallone as a new star. 56. 57. Frank Rich liked the film, calling it almost 100%er schmaltz, but favoring it over the cynicism that was prevalent in movies at that time, although he referred to the plot as gimmicky and the script heavy-handed. 58. Several reviews, including Richard Edder's, as well as Canby's negative review, compared the work to that of Frank Capra. The film did not escape criticism. Vincent Canby, of the New York Times, called it pure 30s make-believe and dismissed both Stallone's acting and Avildsen's directing, calling the latter none too decisive. 59. Andrew Saris found the Capra comparisons disingenuous. Capra's movies projected more despair deep down than a movie like Rocky could envisage, and most previous Ring movies have been much more cynical about the fight scene. Commenting on Rocky's work for A Lone Shark, Saris says the film teeters on the edge of sentimentalizing gangsters. He found Meredith oddly cast in the kind of part the late James Gleason used to pick his teeth. 60. The film enjoys a reputation as a classic and still receives nearly universal praise. On the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds a 93% approval rating based on 75 reviews, with an average rating of 8.4/10. The site's critics' consensus states, "This story of a down-on-his-luck boxer is thoroughly predictable, but Sylvester Stallone's script and stunning performance in the title role brush aside complaints." 61. The template below, Metacritic Film Pros, is being considered for deletion. See templates for discussion to help reach a consensus. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 70 out of 100, based on 14 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 62. Accolades. Award Category Nominee, S. Result Ref. Academy Awards Best Picture Robert Chartoff and Irwin Winkler 163. Best Director John G. Avildsen 1. Best Actor Sylvester Stallone nominated. Best Actress Talia Shire nominated. Best Supporting Actor Burgess Meredith nominated. Burt Young nominated. Best Original Screenplay Sylvester Stallone nominated. Best Film Editing Richard Halsey and Scott Conrad 1. Best Original Song Gonna Fly Now. Music by Bill Conti. Lyrics by Carol Connors and Ain Robbins nominated. Best Sound Harry Warren Tetrick A. William McCoy, Lyle J. Burbridge, and Bud Alper nominated. British Academy Film Awards Best Film John G. Avildsen nominated 64. Best Direction nominated. Best Actor in a Leading Role Sylvester Stallone nominated. Best Screenplay nominated. Best Editing Richard Halsey nominated. Golden Globe Awards Best Motion Picture, Drama 165. Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Drama Sylvester Stallone nominated. Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Drama Talia Shire nominated. Best Director John G. Avildsen nominated. Best Screenplay Sylvester Stallone nominated. Best Original Score Bill Conti nominated. Legacy. The Directors Guild of America awarded Rocky its annual award for Best Film of the Year in 1976. Additionally, the Directors Guild voted Rocky as the 65th best directed film of all time in 2016-66, and in 2006, Sylvester Stallone's original screenplay for the film was selected by the Writers Guild of America as the 78th best screenplay of all time. 67 In a 2012 survey of members of the Motion Picture Editors Guild, Rocky was voted as one of the 75 best edited films in all of cinema. 68. In 2006, the Library of Congress selected Rocky for preservation in the United States National Film Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. 69-70. In 1998, the American Film Institute, AFI, ranked Rocky as the 78th best film in American cinema. 71 The film's ranking rose to number 57 on AFI's 10th anniversary edition of the list in 2007. 72 Additionally, in June 2008, AFI revealed its 10 Top 10 The Best 10 Films in 10 Classic American Film Genres after polling over 1,500 people from the creative community. Rocky was acknowledged as the second best film in the sports genre, after Raging Bull. 73-74. Film scholar Stephen J. Schneider included Rocky in his book 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, writing that the film is often overlooked as schmaltz. 75 Filmsite.org, a subsidiary of American Movie Classics, included the film on their list of the 300 greatest films of all time. 76 Additionally, Films101.com ranked the film as the 228th best of all time. 77. In 2006, British film magazine Total Film ranked Rocky at number 71 on their list of the 100 greatest films of all time. 78 Based on their 2020 readers poll, the film ranked number 60 on Rolling Stone Australia's 100 greatest movies of all time. 79 Additionally, Rolling Stone magazine ranked Rocky at number 2 on their list of the 30 greatest sports films. 80. In 2022, Esquire included the film on their list of the 100 best movies of all time. 81 Esquire also included both Rocky and its spin-off sequel Creed on their list of the 30 best sports movies of all time. 82 In 2023, Slash Film included Rocky on their list of the top 100 movies of all time, as voted by a selection of their writers and editors. 83 In 2024, entertainment news site Comic Book Resources ranked the film number 23 on their list of the 55 best movies of all time. 84 While Parade magazine ranked the film number 45 on their list of the 100 best movies of all time. 85. In 2014, Rocky was ranked number 95 by British film magazine Empire on their list of the 301 greatest movies of all time. 86 It was ranked number 370 on their previous list of the 500 greatest films in 2008. 87 Conversely, in a 2005 poll by Empire, Rocky was number 9 on their list of the top 10 worst pictures to win Best Picture Oscar. 88. In June 2014, The Hollywood Reporter compiled a list of the 100 best movies ever made, polling film industry insiders on their favorite films of all time. 89 Rocky ranked number 91. 89 The following year The Hollywood Reporter polled hundreds of Academy members, asking them to re-vote on past controversial decisions. Academy members indicated that, given a second chance, they would award the 1977 Oscar for Best Picture to All the President's Men instead. 90. Time Out ranked Rocky number 1 on their list of the 50 best sports movies of all time. 91 on their list of the 50 greatest sports movies of all time, entertainment news website Vulture ranked Rocky at number 3. 92 In 2015, Thrillist compiled a list of the 1001 best movies of all time by weighing ratings from IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, and Letterboxd. Rocky ranked number 589. 93-94. In 2021, the film ranked second on ESPN's top 20 sports movies of all time. 95 In 2024, Forbes magazine ranked Rocky number 1 on their list of the 42 greatest sports movies of all time. 96. British film site CinemaBlend ranked Rocky and Creed number 1 and number 17 respectively on their list of the 25 best sports movies. 97 on their list of 100 best movies of all time, entertainment news website Collider ranked Rocky no 94-98, and on their list of the 30 greatest sports movies of all time, Collider ranked the film number 2. 99 on their list of the top 25 sports movies of all time, entertainment news website MovieWeb ranked Rocky number 4. 100 MovieWeb also ranked the film number 3 on their list of the 20 movies that represent American culture. 101. On their list of the 150 best sports movies of all time, Rotten Tomatoes ranked Rocky number 17 and Creed number 2. 102 Men's Health included Rocky on their list of the 50 of the absolute best sports movies ever made. 103 British GQ ranked the film number 1 on their list of the 22 best sports movies. Sylvester Stallone /Stallone, born July 6, 1946, is an American actor and filmmaker. In a film career spanning more than 50 years, Stallone has received numerous accolades, including a Golden Globe Award and a Critics' Choice Award, as well as nominations for 3 Academy Awards and 2 BAFTA Awards. Stallone is one of only 2 actors in history, alongside Harrison Ford, to have starred in a box office number 1 film across 6 consecutive decades. 2 films in which he has appeared have grossed over $7.5 billion worldwide. 3. Struggling as an actor for a number of years upon moving to New York City in 1969, Stallone found gradual work in films such as The Lords of Flatbush, 1974. He achieved his greatest critical and commercial success starting in 1976 with his iconic role as boxer Rocky Balboa in the first film of the successful Rocky franchise, which he also wrote. 4. In 1977, he became the 3rd actor in history to be nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Screenplay and Best Actor. He portrayed the PTSD-plagued soldier John Rambo in First Blood, 1982, a role he would play across 5 Rambo films, 1982 to 2019, which he also co-wrote. From the mid-1980s to the late 1990s, Stallone would go on to become one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, acting in action films such as Cobra, 1986, Tango and Cash, 1989, Cliffhanger, 1993, Demolition Man, 1993, and The Specialist, 1994. At the height of his career, Stallone was known for his rivalry with Arnold Schwarzenegger. 5. Stallone continued his established roles in Rocky Balboa, 2006, and Rambo, 2008, before launching the Expendables film franchise, 2010, present, in which he wrote most of the films and starred as the mercenary Barney Ross. In 2013, he starred in the successful film Escape Plan and appeared in its sequels. In 2015, he returned to Rocky again with Creed, in which a retired Rocky mentor's former rival Apollo Creed's son Adonis Creed. The film brought Stallone widespread praise and his first Golden Globe Award, as well as a third Academy Award nomination, having been first nominated for the same role 40 years prior. He also starred in the sequel Creed II, 2018, and portrayed Staker Ogard in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 2017, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 2023. Regarded as an icon of action cinema, Stallone is credited with helping redefine the Hollywood action hero. 6-7-8 He has occasionally ventured from the action genre, with mixed results. He starred in the comedies Oscar, 1991, and Stop! Or My Mom Will Shoot, 1992. The first film failed at box office 9 but the second one had modest success. He also starred in the 1997 drama Copland, for which he temporarily shed his sculpted physique and gained weight for his role as a powerless sheriff. In television, he has starred in the Paramount Plus crime series Tulsa King, 2022, present. In addition to his film work, Stallone is a noted art collector and painter, and has written books on fitness. Early life. Sylvester Gardencio Stallone 10-11-12 was born in the Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, in New York City 13 on July 6, 1946 14 the elder son of celebrity astrologer and women's professional wrestling promoter Jacqueline Jackie Stallone, née Lavofish, 1921-2020, and hairdresser Francesco Frank Stallone Sr. 1919-2011, 15-16 who opened up and ran a group of hair salons in Maryland and was an avid polo player. 15-17 His mother was an American from Washington, D.C., with Breton French 18 and Ukrainian Jewish ancestry 1920-21 while his father was an Italian immigrant from Gioia del Colle 16 who moved to the U.S. in the 1930s. 22-23 His younger brother is actor and musician Frank Stallone. 16 Many biographies of Stallone indicate that his birth name is Michael Sylvester Gardencio Stallone, and his mother explained in an interview that she originally named him Tyrone because she admired the actor Tyrone Power, but Stallone's father changed it to Sylvester. His nickname as a child was Binky, but he chose to go by the nickname of Mike/Michael after schoolmates began calling him Stinky. 10-11-12 His middle name Gardencio is an alteration of the Italian given name Gaudenzio, and he usually shortened it to Enzio. 24. Complications during Stallone's birth forced his mother's obstetricians to use 2 pairs of forceps while delivering him, accidentally severing a nerve in the process. 25-26 This caused paralysis of the lower left side of his face, including parts of his lip, tongue, and chin, which gave him his signature snarling look and slurred speech. 26-27 As a result, he was bullied in his childhood, with which he coped by getting into bodybuilding and acting. 28 A guidance counselor once told Stallone's mother, "Your son is suited to run a sorting machine or to be an assistant electrician, primarily in the area of elevator operations." Nevertheless, Sylvester aspired to be an actor and a screenwriter. 29. Stallone spent part of his infancy in foster and boarding care, rejoining and moving back with his family to Maryland when he was 5. In the early 1950s, his father moved the family to his mother's native Washington, D.C. to open a beauty school. In 1954, his mother opened a women's gym called Barbella's. 30-31 He initially stayed with his father following his parents' divorce when he was 11, but joined his remarried mother in Philadelphia when he was 15. 32. At one point, Stallone was voted most likely to end up in the electric chair in high school. 33 Nevertheless, Stallone attended Notre Dame Academy and Abraham Lincoln High School in Philadelphia 34 and Charlotte Hall Military Academy in Charlotte Hall, Maryland, prior to attending Miami-Dade College. 35 He spent 2 years, from September 1965 to June 1967, at the American College of Switzerland. He returned to the United States to study as a drama major at the University of Miami, from 1967 to 1969, but did not graduate. 36 decades later, after Stallone's request that his acting and life experiences be accepted in exchange for his remaining needed college credits to graduate, he was granted a Bachelor of Fine Arts, BFA, degree by the University of Miami in 1998. 38. Film and stage career. 1968 to 1976, early roles to breakthrough. Stallone as Rocky Balboa with Adrian, Talia Shire, in Rocky, 1976. Until 1969, he appeared on the stage under the name Mike Stallone. In 1970, he started using the stage name Sylvester E. Stallone. While attending the University of Miami, Stallone had a role in the drama That Nice Boy, aka The Square Root, filmed in 1968. 41. Moreover, he and John Hertzfeld worked together in 1969 on a low-budget self-produced film called Horses. 42. Stallone had his first starring role in the softcore pornography feature film The Party at Kitty and Studs, 1970. He was paid $200 for 2 days' work. 43. Stallone later explained that he had done the film out of desperation after being evicted from his apartment and finding himself homeless for several days. He has also said that he slept 3 weeks in the Port Authority bus terminal in New York City prior to seeing a casting notice for the film. In the actor's words, "It was either do that movie or rob someone, because I was at the end, the very end, of my rope." 44. The film was released several years later as Italian Stallion. In order to cash in on Stallone's newfound fame, the new title was taken from Stallone's nickname since Rocky. Stallone also starred in the erotic off-Broadway stage play Score, which ran for 23 performances at the Martinique Theatre from October 28 to November 15, 1971, and was later made into the 1974 film Score by Radley Metzger. 45. After moving to New York City, Stallone shared an apartment with his girlfriend, Sasha Zak, an aspiring actress who supported them by working as a waitress. 46. Stallone took odd jobs around this time, including being a cleaner at a zoo, and a theater usher. He was fired from the latter for scalping tickets. He furthered his writing skills by frequenting a local library, and became interested in the works of Edgar Allan Poe. 47. In 1972, Stallone was on the verge of giving up on having an acting career. In what he later described as a low point, he tried and failed to get a job as an extra in The Godfather. 48-49. Instead, he was relegated to a background role in another Hollywood hit, What's Up, Doc?, starring Barbra Streisand. Stallone is hardly visible in his 2 appearances. Stallone happened to be acting in a play that a friend invited him to partake in, and an agent in attendance thought that Stallone fit the role of Stanley, a main character in The Lords of Flatbush, which had a start-stop schedule from 1972 to 1974 over budget issues. 50. Stallone, around mid-1973, achieved his first proper starring role, in the independent film No Place to Hide, playing a man who is associated with a New York-based urban terrorist movement, with a jewelry seller as his love interest. The film was recut and retitled Rebel years later, this second version featuring Stallone as its star. In 1990, this film was re-edited with outtakes from the original film and newly shot matching footage, then redubbed, in the style of Woody Allen's What's Up, Tiger Lily?, into a parody of itself titled A Man Called Rainbow. Stallone's other first few film roles were minor, and included brief uncredited appearances in MAS*H, 1970, as a soldier sitting at a table, Pigeons, 1970, as a party guest, Woody Allen's Bananas, 1971, as a subway thug, in the psychological thriller Clued, 1971, as an extra dancing in a club, and in the Jack Lemmon film The Prisoner of Second Avenue, 1975, as a youth. In the latter film, Jack Lemmon's character chases, tackles, and mugs Stallone, thinking that Stallone's character is a pickpocket. He had his second starring role in 1974, in The Lords of Flatbush. 26 in 1975, he played supporting roles in Farewell, My Lovely, Capone, and Death Race 2000. He made guest appearances on the TV series Police Story and Kojak. He is also supposedly in Mandingo. It is often said that his scene was deleted. 51. Stallone gained worldwide fame with his starring role in the smash hit Rocky, 1976, a sports drama about a struggling boxer, Rocky Balboa, taking on heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. 26 On March 24, 1975, Stallone saw the Muhammad Ali vs. Chuck Wenner fight. That night Stallone went home, and after 3 days he had completed the first draft of Rocky. 52 Stallone subsequently denied that Wenner provided any inspiration for the script. However, Wenner filed a lawsuit which was eventually settled with Stallone for an undisclosed amount. 53-54 Other possible inspirations for the film may have included Rocky Graziano's autobiography Somebody Up There Likes Me, and the film of the same name. Stallone attempted to sell the script to multiple studios, with the intention of playing the lead role himself. Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff became interested and offered Stallone $350,000 for the rights, but they had their own casting ideas for the lead role, including Robert Redford and Burt Reynolds. Stallone refused to sell unless he played the lead character, and, eventually, after a substantial budget cut to compromise, it was agreed he could be the star. 55 Upon its release, critic Roger Ebert stated that Stallone could become the next Marlon Brando. In 1977, at the 49th Academy Awards, Rocky was nominated for 10 Oscars, including Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay nominations for Stallone. The film went on to win the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Directing, and Best Film Editing. Rocky has since been inducted into the National Film Registry and had its props placed in the Smithsonian Museum. Stallone's use of the front entrance to the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the Rocky series led the area to be nicknamed the Rocky Steps, where a statue of the character, owned by Stallone, stood at the bottom until 2026 except for a brief period where it was in South Philadelphia. 56 The character was also voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. 1978 to 1989, subsequent success. Stallone at the Ken Norton vs. Dwayne Bobby boxing match in 1977. Stallone made his directorial debut and starred in the 1978 film Paradise Alley, a family drama in which he played one of three brothers who get involved in professional wrestling. That same year, he starred in Norman Jewison's FIST, a social drama in which he plays a warehouse worker, very loosely modeled on James Hoffa, who becomes involved in labor union leadership. In 1979, he wrote, directed, replacing John G. Avildsen, and starred in Rocky II. The sequel became a major success, 26 grossing $200 million. In 1981, he starred alongside Michael Caine and soccer star Pelé in Escape to Victory, a sports drama in which he plays a prisoner of war involved in a Nazi propaganda soccer game. That same year, he starred in the thriller Nighthawks, in which he plays a New York City cop who plays a cat-and-mouse game with a foreign terrorist, played by Rutger Hauer. In 1982, Stallone starred as Vietnam veteran John Rambo, a former Green Beret, in the action film First Blood 26, an adaptation of the eponymous novel by David Morrell, though the script was significantly altered by Stallone during the film's production. 57 which was both a critical and box office success. Critics praised Stallone's performance, saying he made Rambo seem human, as opposed to the way he is portrayed in the book of the same name. It launched the Rambo franchise. That year Rocky III was released, in which Stallone wrote, directed, and starred. The second sequel became a box office success. In preparation for these roles, Stallone embarked upon a vigorous training regimen, which often meant 6 days a week in the gym and further sit UPS in the evenings. Stallone claims to have reduced his body fat percentage to his all-time low of 2.8% for Rocky III. 58. In 1983, he directed Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, starring John Travolta. This was the only film Stallone directed that he did not star in. Staying Alive was universally panned by film critics. 59. Despite being a critical failure, Staying Alive was a commercial success. The film opened with the biggest weekend for a musical film ever, at the time, with a gross of $12,146,143 from 1,660 screens. 60-61 overall, the film grossed nearly $65 million in the US box office against its $22 million budget. Worldwide it grossed $127 million. 62. Though the US box office intake was significantly less than the $139.50 million 63 earned by Saturday Night Fever, the film nevertheless ranked in the top 10 most financially successful films of 1983. During the 1980s, Stallone was considered one of the biggest action film stars in the world. 64. Along with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Schwarzenegger-Stallone rivalry continued for years. 65. They attacked each other in the press, and tried to surpass the other with more on-screen killings and larger weapons. 64. Stallone occasionally attempted, albeit unsuccessfully, roles in different genres. In 1984, he co-wrote and starred alongside Dolly Parton in the comedy film Rhinestone, where he played a wannabe country music singer. For the Rhinestone soundtrack, he performed a song. Stallone turned down the lead male role in Romancing the Stone in order to make Rhinestone instead, a decision he later regretted. 66. In 1985, Stallone continued his success with the Rocky and Rambo franchises with Rocky IV and Rambo, First Blood Part 2. Stallone has portrayed these two characters in a total of 13 films. Stallone met former Mr. Olympia Franco Columbu to develop his character's appearance for the film Rocky IV, just as if he were preparing for the Mr. Olympia competition. That meant 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week. 67. Both films were major financial successes. Stallone as John Rambo in Rambo 3, 1988. It was around 1985 that Stallone was signed to a remake of the 1939 James Cagney classic Angels with Dirty Faces. The film would form part of his multi-picture deal with Cannon Films and was to co-star Christopher Reeve and be directed by Menahem Golan. The remaking of such a beloved classic was met with disapproval by Variety and horror by top critic Roger Ebert. Cannon opted to make the action film Cobra, which was released in 1986 and became a box office success. It led to the setting up of his production company White Eagle Enterprises. 68. In 1987, he starred in the family drama Over the Top as a struggling trucker who tries to make amends with his estranged son and enters an arm wrestling competition. This was poorly received by critics and was a box office failure. 69. In 1989, he co-starred alongside Kurt Russell in the buddy cop action film Tango and Cash, which did solid business domestically and overseas, grossing $57 million in foreign markets and over $120 million worldwide. 70. Stallone became a boxing promoter in the 1980s. His boxing promoting company, Tiger Eye Productions, signed world champion boxers Sean O'Grady and Aaron Pryor. 71. 1990 to 1999, career fluctuations. Stallone began the 1990s starring in the 5th installment of the Rocky franchise, Rocky V. This film brought back the first film's director, John G. Avildsen, and was intended to be the final installment in the series at the time. It was considered a box office disappointment and received negative reviews. 72. Stallone next appeared in John Landis' period comedy Oscar, which was both a critical and box office failure. 73. In 1992, he appeared in Roger Spottiswoodi's action comedy Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot. 74, which was also both a critical and box office disaster. Stallone signed onto the film based on rumors that Schwarzenegger was interested in the lead. Schwarzenegger said that, knowing the script's quality was poor, he publicly faked interest in starring for producers to lure Stallone. 64. In 1993, he made a comeback with Rennie Harlin's action thriller Cliffhanger. 75, which was a success in the US, grossing $84 million and worldwide, grossing $171 million. 76. Later that year, he starred in the futuristic action film Demolition Man, directed by Marco Brambilla, co-starring Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock. 77. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 60% based on 42 reviews, with an average rating of 5.43/10. The site's consensus reads, "A better than average sci-fi shoot 'em up with a satirical undercurrent, Demolition Man is bolstered by strong performances by Stallone, Snipes, and Bullock." 78. The film debuted at number 1 at the box office. 79. 81. Demolition Man grossed $58,055,768 by the end of its box office run in North America and $159,055,768 worldwide. 82. His string of hits continued with 1994's The Specialist, co-starring Sharon Stone and directed by Luis Loza, which opened in the US on October 7. 83. While the critical reception was overwhelmingly negative, 84, the film was a commercial success. 85. In its opening weekend it made $14,317,765 and ended up making back its budget with $57,362,582 at the domestic box office, while making another $113 million overseas, giving it a worldwide gross of $170,362,582. 86. Stallone at the 1993 Cannes Film Festival. In 1995, he played the title character, from the British comic book 2000 AD, in the science fiction action film Judge Dredd. His overseas box office appeal saved the domestic box office disappointment of Judge Dredd, which cost almost $100 million and barely made its budget back, with a worldwide tally of $113 million. Despite the film's poor box office performance, Stallone signed a 3-picture deal with Universal Pictures for $60 million, making him the second star after Jim Carrey to receive $20 million per film. The deal expired in February 2000 without him making any films, however, so he received no payment. 87. That year, he also appeared in the thriller Assassins with Julianne Moore and Antonio Banderas. That same year, Stallone, along with an all-star cast of celebrities, appeared in the Trey Parker and Matt Stone short comedy film Your Studio and You, commissioned by the Seagram Company for a party celebrating their acquisition of Universal Studios and the MCA Corporation. Stallone speaks in his Rocky Balboa voice with subtitles translating what he is saying. At one point, Stallone starts yelling about how can they use his Balboa character, that he left it in the past. The narrator calms him with a wine cooler and calling him Brainiac. In response, Stallone says, "Thank you very much." He then looks at the wine cooler and exclaims, "Stupid cheap studio." 88. In 1996, he starred in the disaster film Daylight as a disgraced former emergency services chief who attempts to rescue survivors of an underground tunnel explosion. Daylight also underperformed at the domestic box office, grossing $33 million, but did better overseas and grossed a total of $158 million worldwide. 89. In 1997, Stallone was cast against type as an overweight sheriff in the crime drama Copland, in which he starred alongside Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta. The film was critically well received and was a modest success at the box office, earning $63 million on a $15 million budget, and Stallone's performance earned him the Stockholm International Film Festival Best Actor Award. In 1998, he did voice-over work for the animated film Ants, which was a success domestically. 2000 to 2005, declining years. In 2000, Stallone starred in the thriller Get Carter, a remake of the 1971 British film of the same name, but the film was poorly received by both critics and audiences. Stallone's career declined considerably after his subsequent films Driven, 2001, Avenging Angelo, 2002, and Detox, 2002, were also critical and commercial failures. In 2003, he played a villainous role in the third installment of the Spy Kids series, Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, which was a huge box office success, almost $200 million worldwide. Stallone also had a cameo appearance in the 2003 French film Taxi 3 as a passenger. Also that year, Stallone started to regain prominence for his supporting role in the neo-noir crime drama Shade, which was only released in a limited fashion but was praised by critics. 90 He was also attached to star and direct a film tentatively titled Rampart Scandal, which was to be about the murder of rappers Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. and the surrounding Los Angeles Police Department corruption scandal. 91 It was later titled Notorious but was shelved. 92. In 2005, alongside Sugar Ray Leonard, he was the co-presenter of the NBC reality television boxing competition series The Contender. That same year he also made a guest appearance in 2 episodes of the television series Las Vegas. That year, Stallone also inducted professional wrestling icon Hulk Hogan, who appeared in Rocky III as a wrestler named Thunder Lips, into the WWE Hall of Fame. Stallone was also the person who offered Hogan the cameo in Rocky III. 93 In August, Stallone released his book Sly Moves, which claimed to be a guide to fitness and nutrition as well as a candid insight into his life and works from his own perspective. The book also contained many photographs of Stallone throughout the years as well as pictures of him performing exercises. 2006, present, franchise films. 16 years after filming Rocky V, Stallone reprised his role as Rocky Balboa in 2006. After a 3-year hiatus from films, Stallone had a comeback in 2006 with the 6th installment of the Rocky series, Rocky Balboa, which was a critical and commercial hit. After the critical and box office failure of the previous installment Rocky V, Stallone had decided to write, direct and star in a 6th installment which would be a more appropriate climax to the series. The total domestic box office came to $70.3 million and $155.7 million worldwide. 94 The budget of the film was only $24 million. His performance in Rocky Balboa has been praised and garnered mostly positive reviews. 95 That year, the development Death Wish remake began, when Stallone announced that he would be directing and starring in a remake of the 1974 film. Stallone said, "Instead of the Charles Bronson character being an architect, my version would have him as a very good cop who had incredible success without ever using his gun. So when the attack on his family happens, he's really thrown into a moral dilemma in proceeding to carry out his revenge." He later told the publication that he was no longer involved. 96-97 In a 2009 interview with MTV, though, Stallone stated that he was again considering the project. 98 However, the role went to Bruce Willis, with Eli Roth as director. Stallone partnered with a beverage company producing an upscale bottled water brand called Sly Water. 99. In 2006, Stallone expressed his desire to direct a film about Moussa Dak, adapted by Franz Werfel's novel The 40 Days of Moussa Dak, detailing the genocide of its Armenian community in 1915. 100. In 2008, Stallone reprised his other famous role in the 4th installment of the Rambo franchise, titled simply Rambo, John Rambo in some countries where the first film was titled Rambo. The film opened in 2,751 theaters on January 25, 2008, grossing $6,490,000 on its opening day and $18,200,000 over its opening weekend. Its box office was $113,244,290 worldwide with a budget of $50 million. In July 2009, Stallone made a cameo appearance in the Bollywood film Comeback Ishq, where he played himself. 101. Stallone in 2009 at the 66th Venice International Film Festival. It was announced on December 7, 2010, that Stallone was voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the non-participant category. 102. Also that year, Stallone wrote, directed and starred in the ensemble action film The Expendables. The film, which was filmed during summer/winter 2009, was released on August 13, 2010. Joining him in the film were fellow action stars Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Dolph Lundgren, as well as Terry Crews, Mickey Rourke, Randy Couture, Eric Roberts, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and cameos by fellow 80s action icons Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger. 103. The film took $34,825,135 in its opening weekend, going straight in at number 1 in the US box office. The figure marked the biggest opening weekend in Stallone's career. 104. In summer 2010, Brazilian company O2 Filmace released a statement saying it was still owed more than $2 million for its work on the film. 105. In 2011, Stallone provided the voice of a lion in Kevin James' comedy Zookeeper. The Expendables 2 was released August 17, 2012. The sequel received a positive critical reception of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes 106 as opposed to the original's 41%. 107. As well as returning cast members from the first film, the ensemble cast also included Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris. That year, Stallone co-wrote the book for the Broadway musical adaptation of Rocky. Stallone, Center, with the cast of The Expendables at Comic-Con 2010. In 2013, Stallone starred in the action film Bullet to the Head, directed by Walter Hill, based upon Alexis Nolan's French graphic novel Du Plomb dans la tête. 108. Also in 2013, he starred in the action thriller Escape Plan, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Caviezel, and in the sports comedy drama Grudge Match alongside Robert De Niro, harkening back to the Rocky franchise. Stallone was reported to be developing an English-language remake of the Spanish film No Rest for the Wicked, though the project was shelved. 109. 110. That year Stallone was credited as writer for the Jason Statham action film vehicle Homefront. The Expendables 3, the third installment in the ensemble action film series, was released on August 15, 2014. The returning ensemble cast also added Wesley Snipes, Antonio Banderas, Mel Gibson, and Harrison Ford. This film was negatively received by both critics and audiences and became the lowest-grossing film in the series. 111. Stallone promoting The Expendables 3 at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival. In 2015, Stallone reprised his role as Rocky Balboa in a spin-off sequel film, Creed, which focused on Adonis Donnie Creed, the son of his deceased friend/rival, Apollo Creed, becoming a professional boxer, played by Michael B. Jordan. The film, directed by Ryan Coogler, received critical acclaim. Portraying the iconic cinematic boxer for the 7th time in a span of 40 years, Stallone's portrayal of the character received widespread acclaim and accolades, including the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, and his third Academy Award nomination, this time for Best Supporting Actor. In 2017, Stallone appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Staker Ogord/Starhawk, the leader of a Ravagers faction. 112. In 2018, he co-starred in Escape Plan 2, Hades with Dave Bautista, which was released straight to home video. Upon wrapping production, he announced via his social media page that work on the third movie, titled Escape Plan, The Extractors, began immediately thereafter. 113 In July, Stallone announced that he had finished a script for a sequel to Creed, with a plot including the return of Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. 114 That year, Stallone was featured in Derek Wayne Johnson's John G. Avildsen, King of the Underdogs, a documentary about director John G. Avildsen. 115. Creed 2 went into production in March 2018, with a scheduled release on Thanksgiving 2018. Stallone was originally slated to direct before the appointment of Stephen Caple Jr., in his feature film directorial debut. 116 Creed 2 was released in the United States by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer on November 21, 2018. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, and it went on to debut to $35.3 million in its opening weekend, a 5-day total of $55.8 million, marking the biggest debut ever for a live-action release over Thanksgiving. 118 On July 23, 2019, in an interview with Variety, Stallone said that a Rocky sequel and prequel are in development. Producer Irwin Winkler said, "We're very high on it and that negotiations are underway for Stallone to write and star in the feature. We're very anxious to make it." Stallone said the plot of the film would be about Rocky befriending a young fighter who is an undocumented immigrant. Rocky meets a young, angry person who got stuck in this country when he comes to see his sister. He takes him into his life, and unbelievable adventures begin, and they wind up south of the border. It's very, very timely, Stallone said. Stallone also said there are ongoing discussions about a Rocky prequel television series, which he hopes will land on a streaming service, and the series will likely follow a young Rocky Balboa as a professional boxing hopeful. Stallone said producer Irwin Winkler is hesitant on making the series, saying that there was some conflict there. Yes. He felt in his mind that Rocky was primarily a feature film, and he didn't see it as being translated for cable, so there was a big bone of contention. 120 That year, Stallone handpicked Derek Wayne Johnson to direct and produce a documentary on the making of the original Rocky, entitled 40 Years of Rocky, 2020. The documentary features Stallone narrating behind-the-scenes footage from the making of the film. 121. Stallone formed a film studio named Balboa Productions with Braden Aftergood in March 2018, where Stallone will serve as co-producer for each of their projects. The studio signed a multi-year collaboration deal with Starlight Culture Entertainment to develop projects for film and television. 122 In May 2018, a fifth installment in the Rambo franchise was announced, and in August 2018, Adrian Grunberg was confirmed as the director. 123 Rambo, Last Blood began filming by September 2018, with a script co-written by Stallone, who also reprised his role as Vietnam War veteran John Rambo. 124 The plot centers around Rambo infiltrating a Mexican drug cartel to rescue a family friend's daughter. 125 The film, which was released on September 20, 2019, in the United States 126 grossed $18.9 million in its opening weekend, the best debut of the franchise. 128 The film grossed $91 million worldwide against a production budget of $50 million. In late 2020, Stallone lent his voice as Rambo to the fighting video game Mortal Kombat 11, as part of the game's second combat pack. 129 In 2021, he voiced King Shark in the DC Extended Universe film The Suicide Squad. 130 In 2022, Stallone starred in Samaritan, a dark interpretation of the superhero genre, from a script written by Bragi Scood. 131 In November 2022, Stallone made his streaming television debut in Tulsa King, in which he plays a mafia boss. The 9-episode series was created by Taylor Sheridan and Terrence Winter and premiered on Paramount+. 132. A second season premiered on September 15, 2024, with a third season set to premiere in 2026. In May 2023, Stallone and his immediate family, wife and 3 daughters, starred in a reality television series, The Family Stallone. 7 days after launch, the series was renewed for a second season. That same month, Stallone reprised his role as Staker Ogard in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 133. Sly, a documentary film about Stallone by Tom Cimini, premiered as the closing film of the 2023 Toronto International Film Festival. 134. In October 2023, he reprised role as Barney Ross in Expend4bles, which was a critical and commercial failure, surpassing The Expendable 3 to become the lowest grossing film in the franchise. 135. Upcoming projects. Following the releases of Creed II and Rambo v. Last Blood, Balboa Productions has had an extensive production slate. A film depicting the life of Jack Galveston Giant Johnson, the first African-American boxing heavyweight champion, is in development. The project was announced after Stallone's instrumental involvement in helping get Johnson a posthumous pardon from U.S. President Donald Trump. 136. Stallone is also scheduled to star in the film adaptation of Hunter, a story which had originally been planned as the premise for Rambo v. Last Blood. The story centers around Nathaniel Hunter, a professional tracker who is hired to hunt a half-human beast created as an experiment of a secret agency. A feature-length adaptation of the biographical novel Ghost, My 30 Years as an FBI Undercover Agent by Michael McGowan and Ralph Pezzullo about McGowan's career of over 50 undercover missions will follow, though there is no screenwriter attached to the project. Additionally, a film centered around Black Ops troops, being written by retired Army Ranger Max Adams, is also in development. Stallone wrote A Working Man in collaboration with David Ayer from a book series created by Chuck Dixon, which was initially intended to be a television series, but later became a feature film starring Jason Statham. 137. The television production slate includes a series adaptation of Charles Saylor's Second Son being written by Rob Williams. 138. In May 2020, Stallone announced that a sequel to 1993's Demolition Man is in the works. I think it's coming. We're working on it right now with Warner Brothers. It's looking fantastic. So, that should come out, that's going to happen. 139. Stallone has continued to express his passion in directing a film based on Edgar Allan Poe's life, a script he has been preparing for years. He has also mentioned that he would like to adapt Nelson DeMille's novel The Lion's Game. In March 2026, it was announced by TMZ that Stallone and Quentin Tarantino would co-direct and co-write a 6-part miniseries featuring gangsters, showgirls, boxing, and music. 140. The series is set to be shot in black and white, using 1930s cameras. 141. Multiple tasks in media. In 1977, for the first Rocky, Stallone became the third man in history to receive the 2 nominations for Best Actor and Best Screenplay, after Charlie Chaplin and Orson Welles. 142. Stallone is known for his recurring roles as Rocky Balboa, John Rambo, and Barney Ross. Stallone wrote and starred in all of 6 Rocky films, while directing 4 of the sequels. Stallone starred in and co-wrote the 5 films of the Rambo franchise and also directed the 4th one. Stallone wrote, directed, and took the lead role in the first installment of the Expendables films. Stallone directed, wrote, and starred in Paradise Alley. John Travolta starred in Staying Alive, a sequel of Saturday Night Fever, which Stallone wrote and directed. Stallone wrote and starred in Cobra, and Driven. Stallone co-wrote and starred in Fist, Rhinestone, Over the Top, Cliffhanger, and Creed II. Citation needed. Asked in February 2008 which of the icons, Rocky or Rambo, he would rather be remembered for, Stallone said, "It's a tough one, but Rocky is my first baby, so Rocky." 143. He also stated that Rocky could be interpreted as the conscious and Rambo as the unconscious of the same character. 144. Stallone has occasionally sung in his films. He sang Too Close to Paradise for Paradise Alley, 1978, with the music provided by Bill Conti, who also collaborated with Stallone in prior years, having recorded the famous Gonna Fly Now theme for his Academy Award-nominated film, Rocky, 1976, which was a US #1 hit. 145. In Rocky III, 1982, Stallone, as Rocky Balboa, sang Take Me Back to his on-screen wife, Adrian, Talia Shire, as they lay in bed. The song was first performed by singer and younger brother, Frank, who had a small role in the original Rocky. For Rhinestone, 1984, Stallone sang such songs as Drinkenstein as well as duets with his co-star, and actual country music star, Dolly Parton. 146. He also performed 2 songs when he guest starred on The Muppet Show in the 1980s, at the height of his career. 147. The last time Stallone sang in a film was in Grudge Match, 2013, when he and Robert De Niro performed The Star-Spangled Banner together. 148. Personal life. Marriages and children. Stallone, right, with then-wife Brigitte Nielsen, second from right, President Ronald Reagan, and First Lady Nancy Reagan at the White House in 1985. Stallone has been married 3 times. He has 2 sons from his first marriage and 3 daughters from his third marriage. At age 28, on December 28, 1974, he married Sasha Zak. They had 2 sons, Sage Moonblood Stallone, 1976 to 2012, who died of heart disease at age 36, and Sergio, B. 1979, who was diagnosed with autism at an early age. Sergio also made a cameo as Rocky Balboa's son in Rocky II as an infant. The couple divorced on February 14, 1985. Stallone married model and actress Brigitte Nielsen on December 15, 1985, in Beverly Hills, California. The marriage lasted 2 years and the subsequent divorce was highly publicized by the tabloid press. 149. 150. 151. In 1988, Stallone met model Jennifer Flavin and they were in a relationship until 1994, when Stallone told her he was having a child with model Janice Dickinson. After the February 1994 birth, DNA tests confirmed he was not the father and Stallone ended his engagement to Dickinson. After a brief 1995 engagement with model Angie Everhart, he and Flavin rekindled their relationship. In May 1997, Stallone and Jennifer Flavin married. The couple has 3 daughters, Sophia, Sistine, and Scarlett. 152. His daughters were chosen to share the role of Golden Globe Ambassador at the 74th Golden Globe Awards. 153. On August 19, 2022, Palm Beach County records showed that after 25 years of marriage, Jennifer Flavin had filed for dissolution of marriage and other relief. 154. 155. On September 23, 2022, the couple reconciled. 156. Family and friends. Stallone maintains a relationship with his brother Frank, who contributed the theme songs to Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Staying Alive. In 1983, Frank's song Far From Over, for Staying Alive, reached the number 10 US hit. Frank appears in minor roles, bit parts, and provides music in many films starring Sylvester, most notably in the Rocky films, where Frank played a street corner singer and contributed songs. 157. Stallone's 48-year-old half-sister, Toni Ann Filati, died of lung cancer on August 26, 2012. 158. Stallone was a close friend of Joe Spinell, but they had a falling out during the shooting of their final collaboration, Nighthawks, in 1981, and Spinell died in 1989. 159. Injuries. Known for physically demanding roles and his willingness to do the majority of his own stunts, Stallone has suffered various injuries during his acting career. During the filming of Escape to Victory, he broke a finger trying to save a penalty kick against Pelé. 164. A scene in Rocky IV, he told Dolph Lundgren, "Punch me as hard as you can in the chest." He later said, "Next thing I know, I was in intensive care at St. John's Hospital for 4 days. It's stupid." 161. 162. While filming a fight scene with Stone Cold Steve Austin for The Expendables, he broke his neck and required the insertion of a metal plate. 163. Legal issues. In February 2001, an exotic dancer named Margie Carr filed a lawsuit against Stallone, accusing him of rape while at a Santa Monica fitness center where they both worked out on February 26, 2000. A lawyer for Stallone denied the claim, saying she sold the story to Globe the month before the lawsuit. 164. 165. 166. In 2007, customs officials in Australia discovered 48 vials of the synthetic human growth hormone gintropin in Stallone's luggage. 167. In a court hearing on May 15, he pleaded guilty to 2 charges of possessing a controlled substance. 168. In 2013, it was reported that Stallone paid a $2 million lump sum settlement alongside a monthly amount and a trust for psychiatric and medical expenses to his half-sister Toni Ann Filitti in 1987. Filitti threatened to file a lawsuit accusing him of abuse. Representatives for Stallone and Filitti's mother Jacqueline Stallone denied the allegations, accusing Filitti of blackmailing him and being a drug addict. However, Filitti's son, Ed Filitti, supported the claims, saying his mother screamed about abuse at the hands of her half-brother over and over, before her death in 2012. 169. 165. In 2016, a report from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was published stating that Stallone was accused of sexual assault by a 16-year-old girl while he was shooting a film in Las Vegas in 1986. The teen reportedly said that Stallone, then 40, forced her into a threesome with his bodyguard. 170. A representative for Stallone denied the allegation. 171. Stallone's ex-wife, Bridget Nielsen, later came to his defense, saying that she was with him at the time of the alleged assault. Stallone's over-the-top co-star David Mendenhall also defended Stallone, denying claims that he introduced Stallone to the girl in question. 172. In November 2017, a woman accused Stallone of sexually assaulting her at his Santa Monica office in the early 1990s. Stallone denied the claim. 173. His attorney revealed the accuser filed a report after an entertainment website declined to pick up the story. 174. Stallone's attorneys also stated that while the actor had a consensual relationship with the accuser in 1987, they had 2 witnesses who refuted the claims. 175. In June 2018, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office confirmed an investigation, stating that the Santa Monica Police Department had presented a sex crimes case against Stallone to a special prosecution task force for review. 176. In October 2018, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office made the decision not to charge Stallone for the alleged assault, as no witnesses corroborated the allegations. Stallone in turn filed a police report regarding her lying on an official document. 177. 178. Religious views. Stallone was baptized and raised a devout Catholic but stopped going to church as his acting career progressed. He rediscovered his childhood faith when his daughter was born ill in 1996, and he again became a strict Catholic by late 2006. 179. The same year, he was interviewed by Pat Robertson from the Christian Broadcasting Network's 700 Club. He stated that he spent much of his previous time in Hollywood losing his way because temptation abounded, but later put things in God's hands. 180 However, he told GQ magazine in 2010, "I'm pretty spiritual, I believe a lot in the spirit of man. I'm certainly not an atheist. I was baptized Catholic, but I don't belong to a structured church. I have no opposition to it. I think there's great nuggets of knowledge in there, some wonderful rules to live by. Then the flip side is the amount of agony that's caused." 181. As of 2023, Stallone is a church-going Catholic again. 182. Politics. Stallone has supported several Republican politicians but does not identify as a member of the Republican Party. 183 He has also donated to the Democratic National Committee and to Democrats, including Senators Joe Biden and Chris Dodd. 184 He is a staunch advocate of gun control despite his otherwise conservative views, and has been described as the most anti-gun celebrity in Hollywood. 185 In 1994, Stallone donated $1,000 to Republican Congressman Rick Santorum's Senate campaign. 186 In 2008, Stallone endorsed John McCain for that year's presidential election. In 2015, upon the advice of a Vedic scholar, Stallone performed a Hindu Talia Shire ritual, done for those who died by accident or murder, at Haridwar for his son Sage. 187. Stallone expresses support for recognition of the Armenian genocide. 188 100 He has also attended the 2017 film premiere for The Promise, a movie set during the genocide. 189. In the run-up to the 2016 presidential election, Stallone described Donald Trump as a Dickensian character and larger than life but did not endorse Trump or anyone else in the Republican primaries. 183 That same year, he declined an offer to become chair of the National Endowment for the Arts, citing a desire to work on issues related to veterans. 190 In 2023, Stallone donated $11,600 to independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema's re-election campaign in Arizona. 191 Later that year, he and his family spent time with Pope Francis in a private meeting at the Vatican. 192 After Trump's win in the 2024 election, Stallone attended an event at Mar-a-Lago. 193 During a speech, Stallone praised Trump as a mythical character and the second George Washington. He also compared him to his character Rocky Balboa. 194. On January 16, 2025, it was announced by Trump that Stallone would serve in a new role as a special ambassador to Hollywood, sharing the role with fellow actors Jon Voight and Mel Gibson. Trump stated that he wants these actors to make Hollywood stronger than ever before by bringing back business lost to foreign countries. 195. Acting credits and accolades. Main articles: Sylvester Stallone filmography and list of awards and nominations received by Sylvester Stallone. Stallone's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Stallone's handprint in Con Chemin d'Etoiles. Over the course of his career, Stallone has received a Golden Globe Award from 3 nominations, a Critics' Choice Movie Award, a People's Choice Award, and international prizes from the César Awards, David Di Donatello, and the Venice International Film Festival, as well as nominations for 3 Academy Awards and 2 BAFTA Awards. Talia Shire, /r/, Coppola, born April 25, 1946, is an American actress and member of the Coppola family. She is best known for her roles as Connie Corleone in the Godfather trilogy, 1972-1990, and Adrian Penino Balboa in the Rocky series, 1976-1990. For her work in The Godfather Part II, 1974, and Rocky, 1976, Shire was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress, respectively, while also receiving a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Drama for her role in Rocky. Early life and family. Shire was born Talia Rose Coppola in the Woodside section of Queens, New York in 1946. Her paternal grandparents came to the United States from Bernalda, Basilicata. 3. Her maternal grandfather, popular Italian composer Francesco Pennino, emigrated from Naples, Italy. 4. Shire is the only daughter of Italia, née Pennino, and arranger/composer Carmine Coppola. She is the sister of director/producer Francis Ford Coppola and academic August Coppola, the aunt of actor Nicolas Cage and director Sofia Coppola, and the niece of composer and conductor Anton Coppola. 5. Her family moved to Lake Success, Long Island, New York, where she lived during her high school years. 6. She has 3 children. Her son Matthew Orlando Shire, an accomplished TV writer and film producer, is from her first marriage to composer David Shire. Her other sons, actors/musicians Jason and Robert, are from her second marriage to film producer Jack Schwartzman. 7. Career. Shire portrayed Connie Corleone in The Godfather and its sequels and was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in The Godfather Part 2, 1974. 6. For her portrayal of Adriana Pennino, the love interest of Rocky Balboa in Rocky, 1976, 8. She won the New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Supporting Actress, the National Board of Review Award for Best Supporting Actress, and was nominated for both the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Drama and the Academy Award for Best Actress. In addition to reprising her Adriana Pennino role in 4 Rocky sequels, 9. Shire has appeared in such films as Kiss the Bride, 2002, I Heart Huckabees, 2004, and Homo Erectus, 2007. Carl Weathers, January 14, 1948 to February 2, 2024, was an American actor, director, and football player. His prominent roles included boxer Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films, 1976 to 1985, Colonel Al Dillon in Predator, 1987, Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore, 1996, and Combat Carl in the Toy Story franchise. He also starred in the 1988 film Action Jackson and portrayed Det Baudrillard in the television series Street Justice, 1991 to 1993, and a fictionalized version of himself in the comedy series Arrested Development, 2004-2013, and voiced Omnitraxus Prime in Star vs. the Forces of Evil, 2017 to 2019. He had a recurring role as Greef Karga in the Star Wars series The Mandalorian, 2019 to 2023, for which he was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series. Weathers played college football for the San Diego State Aztecs before playing professionally as a linebacker. He joined the Oakland Raiders of the National Football League, NFL, after going undrafted in the 1970 NFL Draft. After 2 seasons with the Raiders, he played 3 seasons with the BC Lions of the Canadian Football League, CFL. Early life. Weathers was born on January 14, 1948 in New Orleans, Louisiana. 2. His father was a day laborer. As an 8th grade student, Weathers earned an athletic scholarship to St. Augustine High School, a private school. 3. He was an all-around athlete, involved in boxing, football, gymnastics, judo, soccer, and wrestling, and he graduated from Long Beach Poly High School in 1966. 4-5-6. College football career. Weathers played football as a defensive end in college. He started his college career in 1966 at Long Beach City College 3, where he did not play in 1966 due to an ankle injury suffered when he tripped over a curb surrounding the running track while warming up for practice with another linebacker. He then transferred and played for San Diego State University, becoming a letterman for the San Diego State Aztecs in 1968 and 1969, helping the Aztecs win the 1969 Pasadena Bowl, finishing with an 11-0 record, and a number 18 ranking in the final UPI Poll 7, playing for head coach Don Coryell. At San Diego State, Weathers, who considered acting his first love and had been performing in plays even back in grade school 8, received a Master in Theatre Arts. 9. Professional football career. Weathers signed with the Oakland Raiders of the NFL as an undrafted free agent in 1970. Now playing as a linebacker 3, Weathers played in 7 games for the Raiders in 1970, helping them win the AFC West Division title, on their way to the first ever AFC Championship game. Before the 1971 season, Weathers converted to the position of strong safety. 10. He played in 1 game of the 1971 NFL season before the Raiders released him in September 1971. 11. After head coach John Madden told Weathers, "You're just too sensitive." 8. 12. Later that month, Weathers signed with the BC Lions of the CFL. 13. He played for the Lions until 1973. 14. Playing 13 games in total. During the off-seasons, Weathers attended San Francisco State University and earned a bachelor's degree in drama in 1974. 15. Weathers retired from football in 1974, and began pursuing an acting career. 16. In his NFL career he appeared in 8 games in 2 seasons, but did not record any stats. The only stat he recorded in his CFL career was a single fumble recovery. In later years, Weathers narrated NFL film season recap of the 1999, 2000, and 2001 seasons. 17. During the 2017 NFL Draft, he appeared on NFL Network's pre-draft coverage. 18. Acting career. Weathers in 2015. Weathers began working as an extra while still playing football. 3. He had his first significant roles in 2 blaxploitation films directed by his longtime friend Arthur Marks, Bucktown, 1975, and Friday Foster, 1975. 19. Weathers also appeared in The Nude, an early 1975 episode of the sitcom Good Times, portraying an angry husband who suspects his wife of cheating on him with JJ. Weathers also guest starred in The Brothers Kane, a 1975 episode of the action TV series Kung Fu, and in The Hero, an episode of Canon. In 1976, he appeared as a loan shark in an episode of the crime drama Starsky and Hutch. 20. And in the Barnaby Jones episode The Bounty Hunter as escaped convict Jack Hopper. 21. While auditioning for the role of Apollo Creed alongside Sylvester Stallone in Rocky, Weathers criticized Stallone's acting, which actually led to him getting the role. 22. He reprised the role of Apollo Creed in the following 3 Rocky films: Rocky II, 1979, Rocky III, 1982, and Rocky IV, 1985. 23. Weathers briefly appears as an Army MP in one of the 3 released versions of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, originally released in 1977. In 1978, Weathers portrayed Vince Sullivan in a TV movie, Not This Time. In the late 1970s and 1980s, Weathers starred in a number of action films for the small and big screen, including Force 10 from Navarone, 1978, Predator, 1987, Action Jackson, 1988, and Hurricane Smith, 1992. 24. He hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live in 1988 and appeared in a skit in a 2003 episode. 25. Weathers appeared in Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl music video and co-starred in the 1996 Adam Sandler comedy Happy Gilmore, as Chubbs, a golf legend teaching Happy how to play golf. He reprised the role nearly 4 years later.